In this demo, I'm going to show you how to use GoalSeek to figure out how to get your monthly payment to $300. And basically we work backwards. We're going to tell Excel that we can only afford $300 and let Excel figure out how much car we can afford. So click on Data and go to the What If analysis and select GoalSeek. Now here we're going to say set the monthly payment to $300 by changing the cost of the car. Okay, now it has changed the value of the car from $25,000 down to $21,000, and notice it set the monthly payment to $300. Now if I say OK here, it's going to actually make these changes permanent in the sheet, but if I cancel, it goes back to the original $25,000 in the $372.86. Now, before we actually accept the changes, let me show you another feature of What If analysis called the Scenario Manager. And in the Scenario Manager, let me delete these. What it allows me to do is it allows me to save a set of parameters, give it a name, so that I can easily go back to it. Right? So let me close that now, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select these parameters, because these are the parameters that can change: the cost of the car, the down payment, the annual percentage rate, and the term of the loan. Those are the four variables I can really play with when I'm looking at buying a car. Okay, so with those four selected, I'm going to go What If Analysis, Scenario Manager, and I'm going to say Add. And I'll give it a scenario name, which will be my base case. And notice the changing cells are B2 through B5. I say OK, and notice that it stores the values for each of those four cells. I say OK, and that's my base case. Alright, now let's close this and let's use GoalSeek to get that $300 payment. Okay, What If Analysis, GoalSeek, set cell B12, that's my payment, to $300 by changing the cost of the car. Okay, that's how much car I can afford given these parameters. I say OK. Now what I want to do is I want to highlight these again, these four changing parameters, and open up my Scenario Manager. I've already got my base case. I'm going to add a new one, and this is my $300 payment. We'll call it that. And say OK. And notice it has the correct values for each of the four parameters. And I say OK. Now I have two. And let's say that I can now change my down payment because I figured out I've got some extra money that I can scoop up from another account that I forgot about. So let's say I want to make a $7,000 payment or down payment. Okay, and now I can buy more car. Notice my payment fell below $300. So I'm going to do a What If analysis. I'm going to say GoalSeek. I'm going to say set my monthly payment to $300 by changing the cost of the car. Okay. Well, now I can afford a $23,000 car because I have upped my down payment to $7,000. And I'll accept these changes, and I'll go select the four parameters that are possibly going to change as I go through my different scenarios. And I'm going to add, and I'm going to say, $300 payment with 7K down. Okay, now these are artificial names. You might change it to another name like, Dodge Charger or my Volkswagen bus or whatever. That makes sense, but just for the purpose of showing you how this works, we'll use these contrived names. So close. And now let's say that, okay, you've got three different scenarios, and you save your workbook so that it remembers all this information, and then you come back 2 weeks later after you got your paycheck and you've put some more money in the bank so you can try some stuff out, and you can open up your scenario manager and say, okay, what was my base case? So you select it, you show it, and it puts everything back to your base case. And then you can say, what was my $300 payment? You show it, and it goes to $300. It shows you how much car you can buy when you hit $5,000 in the bank. And what was my $300 payment with $7K down? And you show it, and sure enough, that information is there. So Scenario Manager with GoalSeek is a great way to do what-if games and then save the information off so that you can rapidly go back to it. Okay, and that's the end of this demo.